Okay, we are really pressed for time today because last time we had, let me pause my screen. Last time we had to have an encore session. It was kind of cool. We all came back and we met at 3:30 to do it again. Unfortunately, that can't happen this time around just because of my situation. I'll explain in a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I am gonna talk very fast, so I apologize ahead of time. But you don't worry, I have provided like anywhere between, I'm not sure if it's 5 to 7 videos for you pre-recorded that are about 15 and more minutes each that go through each step of the digital portfolios in detail. Okay, so let me do a really quick rushed introduction. My name is Io Coker, and I am all over the world. Seriously, I just a year ago, actually, almost, not quite to this day, but almost to the day, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia to teach at Martin Luther King's old school that they remodeled and redesigned, and it's state of the art. It's beautiful. And I'm actually, this is a secret nobody in my old district knows, and that you guys are gonna be the first to know, that I actually accepted a promotion in Orange County, California. And I'm going to take a break. I'm going to be taking a break from the classroom for about 2 years. And I'm going to be a special programs facilitator for Think Together After School program. I'm sure some of you have heard of Think Together. They're very popular, and they are a great after school company in California. So I'm moving back to Chino Hills in a week. So that's me in a snippet. I went to Walnut High School, Cal State Fullerton. Then I worked for Think Together, the same company, for about 6-7 years. Then while I was there, I got my master's at Azusa Pacific in digital teaching and learning. And then I uprooted and moved to Joshua Tree and worked in 29 Palms, California, my first 2 teaching years to clear my credential. Came back, worked at Chino Valley for about 6 years, then uprooted, went to Atlanta, and literally just handed the principal my keys, my last key today. And now I'm coming back to Think Together in Southern California. So that's a little bit about me. All right, so I just want to know from you guys, if you can annotate or put in the chat, what grade level do you teach, just so I can know where to gauge this presentation on these digital portfolios. So if you can put a stamp or put in the chat what grade level. Oh, thank you guys. I know I am everywhere. Coming back to Cali. I'm gonna put that song on my post when I post it on social media. Okay, I see TK to 12th graders. Wow, that's perfect for this. Instructional coach, yes. Oh, that's great. Classified and instructional coaches, I'm jealous of you. I want to do that one day. 2nd grade dual language, perfect. Yes. Virtual 4 through 6, nice. Yes, this is especially great for virtual learners. Actually, to be honest with you, it's great for everything, especially after that keynote, what we heard this morning about them saying, like, to blend everything together so that you're always prepared for either or. And guess what? If the kids are building a digital portfolio from the jump, then they already have it set to go. And no matter if they're in person or virtual, everything's right there and you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now I want you guys to describe your level with Google Slides. I know this year has forced many of us to increase our skill level, but beginner, intermediate, or pro, your comfort level with Google Slides. You can put in the chat or put a stamp on it if it allows you. Okay. All right, Sunny, we're gonna be asking you questions. All these pros, Heidi and Amber. Nice. Cool. Okay. Awesome. It looks like the majority is intermediate, so we'll take it from the intermediate. If you are a beginner, please don't take it personal. I'm just trying to be cautious of time here, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions afterwards via email or social media, however you feel. Okay, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. And the digital portfolio, it's really a lot of like teaching-ish, relearning, or I should say review, okay? Because one of my favorite quotes is review is the student's glue. And that's absolutely true, because research says that kids will remember things up to 300% more if they teach someone else, or they write it down and do it over again. And this is what the digital portfolios do. Now, remember, you can create your digital portfolio in any manner you want. When I did this last year, I had a slew of participants responding back and sharing with me what their kids were doing throughout the school year. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. And they were even teaching me things. So don't get married to what I'm teaching you today. Just take it as a foundational piece, okay? So this is the structure. And I feel like I have less time than last year. So this is the structure. However, I'm just gonna go through it, as I would teach students, and we will eventually get to all these. So first one is learn how to access Google Slides and create a template for all students. I think we all know how to do that by now, because we were kind of forced to do that this year, okay? So this is in Google Slides. Then we're gonna learn how to assign once and access student portfolios at any time. Now, accessing student portfolios is not the same thing as adding to or manipulating student portfolios all at one time, okay? One of the key things, which I'm hoping that Google changes very soon, is that we could actually, when you assign to make a copy for each student, and then you're like, oh wait, I forgot to add this. You can't go back and add it. And I'm like, come on, Google. So I'm hoping if that's the case, it will transform portfolios forever, seriously. So if you're teaching the younger grades, then you're gonna want to provide them more templates ahead of time, instead of relying on them to create their own templates. If you're in the higher grades or the upper grades, then you kind of want them to stay creative and do it themselves. For me, I typically teach 6th grade GATE, and that's kind of like my sweet spot where I've been placed the last several years. And this past year, I taught science, so you're gonna see a lot of science examples. But just know that my students, they were able to go above and beyond and create, and I'm very, very aware that they're not all students are capable of doing that same thing. Okay, we're gonna create an interactive table of content.
Ayo, we're not able to see your slide deck. We only see the still says ongoing digital portfolios. There we go.
Sorry. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me show you guys what you missed. You missed all the, what is going on? Okay. Here was my about me thing that I was talking to you guys about. This is what I was sharing. And this is when I asked your grade level and your knowledge, your level of knowledge, and the quote. And this is all the things that we're going to be doing. Okay. So this is what the videos look like on each slide. And actually, let me go ahead and share this with you guys. I have not done that yet. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Okay, and each video is definitely there. Oh, you attended last year, Amber. That's awesome. That's awesome. I would love to see what you guys created if you were able to get to them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start this year by showing you guys some beautiful templates, okay? These are students from Atlanta, that my science kids that did their portfolios. And this is Azaray's, and you can see her table of contents here. It's interactive. If we click on, actually, let me just go ahead and present it. That'd probably be best, okay? And so what it is, it's just a compilation of all their work, okay, in any manner you want, okay? So if I click on About Me, it'll take me to her About Me page. And for the About Me page, and I'm gonna go through this, don't worry, we're gonna create our own. It's all pictures and quotes, no words. I'm not allowed to have words, but by looking at this page, I tell them I should know a lot about you by looking at this page without you telling me what I'm looking at. So you can see that, you can see her. And then every page has to have a home button that can take me back to the table of contents. So these are all the subjects that we did this year for science. And you can see that they all have a title page, but once you get to title page, you can just click and move on. You can scan this with your phone right now, and it should take you to her link. And we put different assignments in different ways onto their digital portfolios. So this is the different subjects, right? And so I can go back to the table of contents at any time. I can go here, phases of the moon, and this is all the stuff we did for phases of the moon. Click here to notice how, click here to watch a video. Oh, she did not link that correctly, but I will teach you guys how to link it correctly. And yeah, so basically that's pretty much what it is. And the teacher decides what they're going to put on each slide of the portfolio. And typically everyone in the class should have the same amount of slides. Okay, so this is a project we did, and literally I just click it and it takes me to that project. So, oh, never mind. I'm switching districts, so I don't have any access to my Atlanta things anymore, so you guys won't be able to see as much stuff. This is another beautiful presentation done by Reed. And I like this one because the reason I like this one is because if you notice her, she added the transitions. Whoa, I forgot about that. I graded these in May. And her About Me page and her titles, notice her title. This is what I like to call digital text etiquette. Her titles are all the same. If I go over here to severe weather, I know this is the title page because of how her font and her, her highlight is and all that stuff. Okay. If I don't have a home button here. She forgot to put her home button. But if I go to any other subject, yeah, see the title pages are all nice. Okay. So those are some examples. And you know what? I will, towards the end, I will share some of these links with you as well so you can see their examples. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to Google Drive, okay? And to get started, I actually don't have access to Classroom anymore, so I can't show you how to assign it, but I'm pretty sure if you really don't know, then let me know and I will meet with you some other time and show you how to do that, okay? So I'm gonna go over here to slides. Okay, now, when I teach this, when I show the kids how to make a portfolio, which you could or you could not, okay? My second time doing it, I actually just let them create whatever presentation, whatever theme they wanted to, okay? And then other years I just made like this past year, I made the template for them and then they could get creative after that. So I typically go here to the template gallery, okay? And I pick a presentation to use as my example template, okay? And I typically like Lookbook. This one's pretty cool. The kids like it a lot too. And I use that to start. Okay. All right, so now I minimize the chat. If you guys have, I'm not sure, are you guys allowed, are they allowed to unmute, Mindy?
Yes, they should be able to.
Okay, so if you have a question, please do not be shy. I'm not a shy person at all. Go ahead and unmute and ask me, and I'm totally okay with that, okay? So here, I would just change it to digital portfolio or ongoing, whichever you want. I like that word ongoing because it lets them know like, hey, we're never done with this. It's never stopping. Like this is always something that you should be working on, okay? This is a great activity also for, now that I'm done with my work, what can I work on? Oh, well, you can go design your portfolio, okay? That was a game changer, lifesavers, a lot of times, okay? So one thing that I do tell the kids is this. If whatever I mark as gray text, that's a signal to you to change it and make it your own. Okay, so whenever I put gray text I say that's what that means, that I don't want to see that there when I go grade it. It's something that you need to manipulate and or change. Okay, so for example, they would come in here after I sign this and put their name there. Okay, and I'd put the year. Okay, I don't know. Let's see, 6th grade, 2021 to. I said I don't know because I'm like, what city am I going to be in? Okay. All right, so that's just the title page, and they can obviously, you know, be creative and make it pretty. All right, the next one would be the table of contents, okay? And this is where it gets a little more tricky, okay? So we're gonna add the title, table of contents, okay? Really, if I'm really honest, this is like a Google slide, in-depth Google Slides. That's really what it is. But we're gonna call it digital portfolios. Okay, table of contents. Now, I'm gonna create 2 columns of text, okay, for my table of contents. Okay, now I'm depending on how, you know, I kid you guys not, you know how the best ideas come to you 5 minutes before you're about to teach? Literally 5 minutes before this presentation, I thought, wow, if the staff at a school, if the admin required the staff to have a digital portfolio of all their, you know, meeting documents and templates that they needed to, you know, work on, and you know how we do our SMART goals and whatnot, that would be awesome, because first of all, you can access it from anywhere in the world. Secondly, it's never going missing. And thirdly, when they do look at it, they can just, you know, they can also access it from anywhere without having to dig into a file and find paperwork. So definitely a cool tool to use in many different ways. Okay. So typically I would be teaching at an elementary school. So we would just do the basic subjects, okay? Language arts, math, science, and history. Okay. Now I would like, it's always best when all the fonts look the same. Okay. This is table of contents, so I may want it to pop a little more. So maybe I'll have a black background, or I'm sorry, a red background. Yeah. Okay. Now this is definitely not bold, so I'm gonna just bold it out there. Okay. So I want each of these to be linked to a certain page. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the all about me. All about me. That's the first one. Okay, so let's go ahead and create maybe 2 of these as title pages in our slide deck over here. Okay, now this is this is why this is part of the reason I like this template, is because some of it is already mapped out for you. Okay, so this might be my language arts slides. Okay, and what I tell them, like, this is like the chapter title when you're reading a book. Okay, the chapter title, you know it's a chapter title because it's like it only has a few words on that page. There's a lot of empty space and it's bold. Okay, so make it big and make it seen so that we know, even when I'm scrolling through your slide, just the slide deck on the side, I should be able to see big and bold what I'm about to embark on. And in this case, it's language arts. Okay. Now, the reason I didn't use this as the reason I didn't use this one as all about me is because it was already made for more of a subject matter. I'm gonna go ahead and drag up slide 5, okay, and make it, pull it up to slide 3. And I'm gonna make this my all about me. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys in a second what my all about me example looks like for time's sake. Okay, now, once again, I'm going to give them some requirements. Let's pull that down to about 30, 25 maybe. Okay, quotes and photos only, no words. Literally what I do, and then I'm gonna make this gray because that doesn't need to stay here the whole time. Okay, so they're gonna fill up the all about me page. Okay, and I'm gonna give you an example of what mine looks like. Here it is. Oh, this might start playing. Yeah, I don't want it to start playing. This is my all about me video. is it? There we go. Okay. So this is all about me, and you can tell a lot about me. And this is how, and I tell them as little white space in the background or whatever color your background is as possible. Okay. And you can see my favorite foods. You can see a lot of my friends, my family, and you can see what my favorite flower is, my favorite snack. Okay, I work out. Okay, all those things. And so so this is why I tell the kids, just make sure you fill it up. So and this is what's awesome is that what I've done in the past is we literally folded their Chromebooks, because the Chromebooks were able to fold backwards. And we had it on display, like a tablet on each of their desk for open house. So all throughout the room, you just saw a bunch of, digital portfolios on the kids' desk. And I mean, luckily Chino Valley had touchscreen Chromebooks for the kids. And so the parents could just come around and interact with their digital portfolios at the end of the year. And it was awesome. I mean, the parents were impressed for sure. Okay, so that's the all about me. Oh, I see 2 things in the chat. Okay, no problem, Mindy. Yes, exactly. Yep, induction work. Okay, so that's all about me. We got language arts. Now, also something to note is if you like a title page, okay, and you want to repeat it, all you have to do is come here to slide 4 and make sure it's highlighted. I always tell them look for the yellow rim around the slide, and Control C and Control V, okay, or 2-finger click or right click on top of it and duplicate slide, okay. Then you can just go back and change the words. And now you have 3 different slides. Okay. All right, let's get to the juicy stuff, which is the table of contents interactive. All right, so we're going to link this phrase to this slide 3. Okay. So it can get a little tricky here. So just watch carefully. So whatever you want to link, you need to highlight those words and those words only. If I highlight the entire text box, all that is highlighted is going to be linked to the slide that I want it to link to, okay? But I just want to highlight, I don't even want to highlight the space after it, just the letters, the phrases, or the words that I want linked, okay? Now there's many different ways to do this. You can come over here to this link, insert link. That's my favorite because it's like right there and I don't have to think about it much, okay? You can right click over your highlight, make sure it's still highlighted when you right click, and you can click link over here. I tell the kids, okay, if you want to insert something, where do you think you should go? Let's think about that. Oh, insert. That's another way, okay? Insert link, okay? Whichever way you choose one. Make sure that phrase is highlighted, okay? All right, so now we want to link it to slides in this presentation. That's interesting. Hold on one second. It's never done that to me before. Interesting. Okay. Well, on yours, does anybody see where
it's down at the bottom? Slides in this presentation.
Oh, it is. Oh, you know what? Your Zoom pictures were covering it. That's why. Okay, so slides in this presentation. Okay, and I always tell them look for the slide number, not the phrase. Okay, the slide number, not the phrase. Sometimes it could be a little off. You probably won't see that today, but just for something to think about, look for the slide number, not the phrase, okay? So slide 3, all about me. Perfect. Whoa, first of all, I can't even see it anymore and it's underlined, okay? So in this case, you can still highlight it and change the font color to whatever you like, okay? And I tell them, personally, underlined links remind me of like PowerPoint from 1902. So we're going to take off that underline just so it looks cleaner, okay? And we're going to underline it. All you have to do is come here and underline it. Now, if you even delete one of the letters, that link is no longer going to work. You have to be very careful about what you highlight and what you change about the font, okay? So now when I put my mouse over it, and I click one time, it should tell me exactly where that's linked to, and that's linked exactly where I want it to be linked to. I tell the kids, if you really want to triple check, just go ahead and present it and test it out. Notice my mouse is moving, is changing when I come hover over those words, and now it linked me to my All About Me page. Okay, so I'm gonna do that one more time for the language arts, and it's the same thing for all the rest, and that's how you would link. So highlight the phrase you want, insert link, slides in this presentation, where'd it go? Now it's hidden from me, really. Okay, well, it already suggested it, language arts, slide 4. Okay, and the font color changed, so I'm gonna re-highlight that, underline it, change the, oh, I still want it bold, change the font color back to black, okay? And now I wanna put my mouse over it, yep, it's gonna take me to language arts, okay? Now, sometimes if I want the kids to get fancy, or, sometimes whoever's gonna be viewing these slides doesn't really have a knowledge of Google Slides. So we can help them out. So I always go over here, insert image. We're gonna add like a little icon that lets people know, viewers know that this is clickable. So I'm gonna search the web, okay? And when I search the web, I'm gonna type in, click here, ping, oops, okay? PNG means that it's going to give you a transparent background, so it doesn't have that ugly white box around it that's going to interfere with what we've already got going on in our design, okay? So click here, and I like the arrow, the finger pointing, so I'm going to insert that. And you can get fancy with it. I'm actually going to crop it a little bit so that's not too big. Okay, double click and shrink it, of course. Turn it. And now you can tell your viewers to click here. The Zoom box is in the way, okay. Okay, so something like that. Okay, and the kids eventually figure out when they see my examples, oh, how'd you put your Bitmoji on there? You gotta download the Bitmoji extension, okay? And they will produce some beautiful work for you. Okay, so that is the table of contents, okay? Now, a couple things that I want to show you, like let's say you're doing, for example, my class, when I was teaching elementary 6th grade, we always did we always learned, was it, oh, I forget the term. It's been a while. Anyway, we use short films from Disney to learn about adjectives on a whole nother level, okay? And so what we did was, we watched the video and we wrote a little paragraph about the video that basically they wrote a script to the scriptless video that Disney produced, okay? So what I did, and I want you guys to do this too, is first of all, we're going to add a blank slide here, okay? And this slide is going to be, we're just going to call it for this presentation's sake, we're going to call it sample video embedding. Okay. So now some kids did it on paper and that's totally fine. Some kids did both. Some kids did it on paper first and then they came over here and typed it. Either way is always okay. Okay, so we watched the video and we did some typing. So I'm going to show you how to embed a video so that it can be clicked on and played straight from this slide without having to go back to YouTube, for example, okay? So you're gonna go over here, insert, okay? Then you're gonna go to video. Okay, perfect. Search YouTube, all right? Now I'm gonna put Disney short film. you might already have the link that you guys are using for class, okay? I feel like the one we actually used. Okay, this is one of the ones we used. Okay, double click it and it embeds right there. Okay, so now I can play it from the slide and I don't have to go to YouTube at all. Okay, let me do that one more time because that was kind of fast. All right, insert video. Okay, and you're going to, oh my gosh, video from YouTube. Okay, and you're gonna type in the search box whatever the title of that video is. Okay. Once you click it and you hit select, it's going to embed it. Okay. Let's go ahead and select.
Io, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I've never done this for my built this complicated, I guess, of a Google slide on my iPhone. So on the insert on video, if I don't see it, is there something I need to do? Like I have insert options, I have, comment, text, image, shape, line, table, link, but I don't see video when you're doing it from
a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be that. I have never tried it from a phone. I know that I had a couple students that were using iPads and they always had issues annotating or editing their slides on an iPad. I guess it's just one of those things where maybe in the next couple iPad and phone models you'll be able to do that. But I always tell the kids, take out your laptop if you have one because it's really hard to edit. Now to view it on an iPhone is totally fine, but to actually create will be very difficult. But unless if it's something basic, but if that's the case, there's something else that we could do. You could just insert a link and go to another app. Where is it at? Oh, it's because I'm clicked. Sometimes when you're clicked on something and you're not allowed to manipulate it, then the other option won't be available. So make sure you're clicked out into the empty space. So insert, oh, come on. Got to put a text box there. This is where the kids would put their text, right? So you guys are my witnesses that Google is acting funky today. Okay, so you would put their text here. Text goes here. And of course, I would highlight that, change it to gray, because they're going to change it eventually. Okay, and then what you could do, is link the words, link some of the wording. So for example, if that's the case that you guys can't access the video you need, you can say, click here for video, right? And then just like we did the table of contents, highlight that, insert link, and then it'll say paste the link. So then I could go here, you know what I mean? Then I could go to YouTube. Okay, let me just do it right now while I'm here. Okay, I can just go to YouTube. Let's just say we want the Island Vibes song that I was playing when you guys were coming in. Okay, and I would just paste that link here and apply. Okay, notice I already have a phrase written. Then I apply it, and now those words are linked to that video. So that would be the cheater way to do it if you didn't have that luxury of embedding the video here. Okay, so there were actually a lot this year. My science classes, what we did was we spent most of our time in Google Classroom, okay? And so what I did, and I'll show you on some of these kids' presentations, is what we did was I told them, and this is like for those of you that maybe you don't want to do the portfolio every day, maybe you just want to, every couple months, go back and do it. So I told them, I made a very easy list. Sometimes I would create that list, an hour before class or whatever. And I made a list and I said, for theories of the universe, you need, you need your seesaw presentation on our galactic address, and you need a video, the same video we watched to understand where we are in the universe, okay? And then I would say, I need 3 pages from your planetary Google Docs. So they would screenshot this is literally a screenshot of her planetary Google Docs assignment that they did for me in class. And she just put the screenshots here. That's all it is. Look at me moving it over. Okay. And I believe, oh no. Sometimes I tell them, if you want extra credit, then you can link it to the videos that we watched as well. Okay. Here we did a planet poster. So they had to choose a planet or a dwarf planet, and they had to do a presentation on it. And so this is her poster that they had to create a poster as well and a presentation. This is her poster, and this is her summary. Now, she didn't have to redo a summary. It's the same summary we did months before, and she just copied and pasted it, so it's all here. So you know what I mean? So you don't have to just, you can do your projects wherever they're at, and then just make sure obviously it won't delete if it's on Google, but just go back to it later and design the digital portfolio with that, okay? Let me see this, guys. There's so many different things we did. I know for the water, we did a water cycle project drawing. She must have not done the drawing because hers is not here. But we did it, for example, like we took a lot of notes. And so there were some days where I'm like, okay, for heat transfer, I just want to see your note page that we created on heat transfer. And so they would just take a picture of their note. Literally, she's in the classroom, I can tell by the floor. And she took a picture of her notebook and she put it right there. And look at that, they have it forever. This is especially good. I don't know if I have any math teachers in here, but this is especially good for math because, they are taking a picture of their notebook and they're recreating the equations or the concepts right here on the slide. So for example, if this was math, for example, maybe it's like the coordinate plane, and then they would have the definition of what a coordinate plane is and what each quadrant, the name of each quadrant is. And, when I was at Eagle Canyon, we did this in science, they did the bones of the body, I think, for science, because I didn't teach science that year, but I had them insert, even from other classes, I had them insert things that they did in here, and they had to connect their presentation to a picture of the bones of a body, basically a skeleton. Okay, so there's so many different ways. Last year, I think my time is almost up, I'm not sure, I think this ends at 10 after. Last year, another teacher, I think she was from Riverside, she, instead of what she did for her table of contents, it was so cool. She got an image from Google, from the internet somewhere. She got an image of dividers, okay? So she got dividers. And so on her page, it was either at the top or on the side. On her page were dividers, and they had the different subject names, and they were clickable. And I'm like, wow, that's really, really cool. And I literally sat with her one day for like an hour extra, and she was like, so if I want to assign them this, what could I do? So do you guys see how the sky's the limit when it comes to digital portfolios? There's like so much you can do. So for my primary teachers that are teaching the babies, okay, anything under 3rd grade, I would say, you want to make a lot of templates for them, okay? You want to make a template for the title page, okay? You want to make a template for their work. Maybe your whole digital portfolio is going to be the same thing, see, taste, hear, okay? Or see, taste, hear, touch, and every slide they have to insert what they see. They type what they see, what they hear, what they touch, and then maybe a space for a picture. There's sometimes I go really crazy with the templates, and I'll say, and like instead of saying text goes here, I'll do a box like this or a shape. I know I can insert a shape here. Insert shape, and I'll do this, and I'll say, and then you can add a text. By the way, you guys can add text to a shape. You just have to double click inside. Okay. Place photo here, for example. If I really want it to be specific to what, to the slide, I'll do this, place photo here. And that way, when they literally place a photo there, for example, then those words are going to be covered up immediately. So let me just put a happy face for simplicity. So if they were to put a photo there, boom, it covers my instructions immediately. So you can't even see what's behind that. Okay. Okay, yeah, that was 40 minutes. Any questions, anything, any ideas you guys want to throw out there? Any questions you want to see me do? I don't mind staying a few extra minutes to answer any of your questions or give you some more ideas on what you can do with the digital portfolio. Let me take a look at the chat. I haven't been there in a while. Ooh, 10 chats. All right. Okay.
Actually, I had a question.
Okay.
This is Heidi.
Yes.
When you make the templates, I haven't made a template before. Do you have to save it a certain way?
No, you just have to know where it's at. Like if I want to assign this to the kids, for example, I would change this to digital portfolios, right? And then I would go to my drive. Well, actually, you don't even have to do that. Okay. You would go to Google Classroom and then you would, you know how you assign on Google Classroom? Okay. And then it says like attach or upload from drive. And then it would take you to your drive and then you would just type in digital portfolio in your drive.
And then one per student.
Yeah, and then it would say assign it per student. Exactly, yeah. Okay. The only thing about that is you just have to make sure it's exactly how you want it before you do that. So you don't have to go back and fix.
Right.
Change anything.
Okay. But even then, so they still can manipulate things in there then. It's not locked. Like backgrounds and things like that. Okay.
Yes. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. If they turn it in, then they can't manipulate it, just like any other assignment on Google. If they turn it in, they cannot manipulate it. But if you, as long as they don't turn it in or you just, bounce it back to them or they unsubmit, then they can manipulate it for as long as they want.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that was the story of 2020.
Right?
My sixth grader was always submitting stuff and we're like,
Right.
So a teacher could resend it. But I think what Heidi was asking too is, so when you send it to each one, they edit theirs, but it doesn't edit the whole, right?
Yes, correct.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me check out the chat. Is there a slide deck? Oh, yes. Let me copy and paste the link to the slide deck. Got it somewhere in here. Here it is. So here is the slide deck to everyone. And I'm going to also, if you guys want to copy and paste my email, it's my personal email just because I'm in transition. I'm sure it'll be at Think Together once I get there. Okay, that's my personal email on social media. In my IG, I actually stopped. My IG is, I do have an Instagram for just my students that I shared last year, but I'm just gonna give you guys my personal one. Don't judge me, it's not that bad anyway. So if you wanna add me on there, message me, that's fine too. And Facebook is just my first and middle name. Okay, and then just tell me that you're from the Google Camp and I can answer any other questions. Yeah, but are there any other questions? In the meantime, let me look at Lisa Thompson. Is that who I think it is? Lisa Thompson. Sorry, I thought you were another Lisa from from Chino Valley. We have another Lisa Thompson. Okay. All right. After you assign it, can you make changes? No, unfortunately, we cannot make changes after we assign it, but they can. But you can tell them. However, my student teacher. You know how student teachers are. A lot of times they're like they want to do the most, right? Because she when I showed her this, she was like, well, I want to do an assignment for them, but I kind of want to give them a template and I wanted to go on their digital portfolios. I was like, well, we can show them how to do the template. And she's like, no, that's okay. I'll just put it on each kid's slide. So she went through one night. I'm sure it doesn't take that long, but she just took one slide, for example. I'll give you an example. You can take one slide, you can copy it. Okay, and then you can go through each kid's digital portfolio and you can paste it here. Okay, and boom, and then it'll ask you if you want to match this style or keep originals. And I would just keep original, link and keep original style. Exactly, just like that. Okay. And so now you can insert a template, but you would just have to do it one at a time. So it's not impossible. And even if you wanted to do 2, you can just click Command or Control if you have a Windows. And then you would just right click on top and copy both of those. And then you would paste them to each of their slides. Okay. All right, let's see. This is a safe. So is it that safe? For Cindy, are you talking about for when I embedded the video?
Yes. So what I did this year is I was using SafeTube and that went bad. So I used the other one, starts with a B. I can't remember the name of it. So I would just like screenshot a picture of whatever was the first thing on the video. And then I would put that in and then just link the video to that picture so they could.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So you're saying, I heard you say that Safe YouTube didn't even work for you?
It was working and then they ran out of funds. I think there was too many teachers using it or something. So then there was another one. It was through YouTube. I can't think what it was called, started with a B. And
Heidi put one in the chat. Heidi just put videolink.com is what Safe YouTube changed to also.
Oh, there you go. That's funny. Yeah. I was wondering because I had the same issue. I tried to be all safe and not use YouTube, and I could not, this whole year, I could not access Safe YouTube. And even some of the kids, when I would assign things on Pear Deck and that other site that's kind of like Nearpod, it wouldn't play the videos on Nearpod when we would upload them there. So now,
I do have a question though. I teach first grade and we're in Avid School, and I actually have tangible notebooks that they keep for language arts, math, science. And, you know, we do things in the class and they put it in. And I'm thinking that I would like to do something like this, at least maybe just with one of the subject areas to keep it simple.
Yes.
So what I was thinking was creating, you know, a whole slide of all different things that I want to put in there and then sharing to each student individually. Is that how I get them to use it? I mean,
wait, you want to share the template with each student individually?
Yeah, so I'm thinking I want to create one master, right, of what I want.
Yeah.
And then I want each student to have a copy of it.
Right.
So how do I do that?
So the master, do you want them to manipulate that master on their own? Okay, yeah. So then you would just assign it in Google Classroom, and you would just go to assign and make a copy for each student. Have you ever assigned anything in Google Classroom before?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then they'll be able to manipulate it. And you'll still have your master. Like, you can still manipulate your master. It's not going to change your copy. It's just, it's kind of like going to copy it for them, and they can change whatever they want to on their end. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. So I do have one question though. If I do it that way, once I assign it, I better make sure I have everything on there that I want, because otherwise I have to go back in and add individually, which, you know.
Correct. Or at least, like, my thing is, like, at least say, you know, for younger kids, you might want, instead of the actual video here, you might just want a shape that says video or picture goes here, and then another box on the side that says text goes here, like this, for example. You know what I mean? And then that way, whatever you guys do, at least you know that on each slide you have a space for a video and a space for text. Now, something that I thought of that you could also do is you could literally make all different kind of slide templates on the master copy that you assign to them. You're welcome, Heidi. And you can say, okay, for this assignment, we're going to use the template number 2. And so they're going to drag a template number 2 from the bottom of the slides or whatever, and bring it up, and they're going to use that. But make sure they make a copy of that, so that it doesn't, you know, so they don't just use it and they don't have it anymore. Yeah,
I just thought I'd start them out kind of slow, but the kids our district kids, we were 100% online the entire school year. So they're pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good. What grade, if you don't mind me asking?
We were first grade.
First grade. Oh yeah. You'd be surprised. Oh my goodness. I have a story of a kid who I found out he was in second grade, found out how to turn off the internet so he didn't have to go to school. So
Yeah.
So
They're highly intelligent.
They really, and then they try to act like they're not, because they know that you think that they're not that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask. If not, then enjoy your lunch.